I remember standing at the edge of an ancient forest, the sky above a tapestry of stars older than my ancestors' fires. The hush of the night pressed gently against my ears, as though the world itself held its breath, yet within me stirred a peculiar ache, a yearning I could not name. Each distant whisper of wind carried a question. Why do I feel so alone when the world around me is alive with murmurs? In that moment, I sensed a chasm opening between my modern solitude and the warm chorus of voices who came before me, a gap time itself seemed determined to deepen. The cool air carried the scent of pine and earth, evoking memories unspoken, as though the land itself remembered connection that I had forgotten. In the villages of our forebears, loneliness was never more than a fleeting shadow at the edges of communal joy. Families and friends gathered around the hearth, laughter echoing off stone walls, each smile a bridge across any whisper of separation. Stories passed from one tongue to another like treasured heirlooms, legends weaving individuals into an unbroken tapestry of belonging. A single plume of hearth smoke, rising together into the night, sealed the bond between every heart. The aroma of roasting chestnuts and the murmur of evening prayers mingled, wrapping each soul in the gentle assurance that they were never truly alone. Today, I scroll through endless feeds, seeking fragments of belonging in pixels and notifications. We dwell in high-rise towers, faces bathed in the cold glow of screens, voices reduced to digital chirps. The paradox is stark. We have multiplied our connections, yet the corridors within us grow silent. I have felt this keenly, standing in a crowded plaza where every stranger clutched a device, and still I was the only one who felt hollow. Beneath the neon signs and the hum of engines, my heartbeat echoed in an empty chamber, longing for the tangible warmth of a shared glance. Neuroscience reveals that our brains were never built for this kind of isolation. Social rejection ignites the same pain centers as a physical wound. Loneliness, like a phantom limb, pulses with a hurt that is painfully real. In ancestral times, this ache was a signal to return to the fold, to the hearth, the hunt, the harvest dance. Today, it drives us deeper into isolation. More scrolling, more screens, more empty echoes. We mistake virtual likes for shared laughter, and when the screen dims, the ache returns, sharper than before, like a wound reopened by each swipe. I recall my grandmother's village as if it were a dream, each dawn heralded by rooster's chorus and the yeasty aroma of baking bread. Neighbors greeted each other by name, names that carried stories of valor, heartbreak, and hope, while children chased chickens through dew-kissed courtyards. There, to feel alone would be as inconceivable as a bird refusing to sing at sunrise. I wonder, did my ancestors ever pause mid-chorus and feel a hollow in their hearts, or did their unity run so deep that solitude never found a foothold? The memory of her laughter, rich, unhurried, still softens my own solitude when recalled. In myth and ritual, they found a bridge across the waters of uncertainty. The ancient Greeks converged under open skies and amphitheaters, voices blending in tragedy and comedy until each soul felt both actor and audience. Ceremonies across the globe, Maori haka with its thunderous drumbeats, Celtic harvest rites winding through emerald fields, Navajo healing chants harmonizing earth and sky, were more than spectacle. They were collective catharsis, affirming that no one stands truly alone beneath the vaulted heavens. The drum's heartbeat and the chant's cadence became the human equivalent of a lighthouse, guiding each spirit home. Yet our modern rites feel fragmented, our myths digital. We attend concerts where thousands clap in unison, yet depart still craving deeper connection. We join online forums, typing words into the void, hoping someone will answer with empathy. We sit in silent retreats, only to discover silence can be a mirror, reflecting every longing we carry. Our ceremonies have become tweets and live streams. the ancient power of communal presence diluted into pings and progress bars. And in that emptiness, we search once more for rituals that truly bind us. I yearn for a modern hearth, a space where stories are shared in voice, not text, where presence is felt in breath, not bandwidth. In small gatherings beneath living room lamps, I search for that ember of belonging, the spark that half lights another soul. Faces soften as voices tumble into shared memory, and for fleeting moments, the walls between us dissolve. Yet these are islands of warmth in an ocean of solitude, precious reprieves that remind me of what we have lost and what we might reclaim. The gentle flicker of a candle before the group feels like a silent promise of recognition. The irony we carry is subtle and profound. Never have we been more connected, yet never have we understood loneliness so deeply. Our ancestors built lives around interdependence, and when one faltered, another uplifted them. Today, self-reliance is worn like armor even as it erects walls around our hearts. We mistake solitude for strength, forgetting that true vitality lies in the shared breath between kindred spirits. The stolen moment of a hand reaching across a table often speaks more profoundly than any solitary triumph. Consider the story of a remote Arctic tribe whose survival depended entirely on communal trust. In the polar night, when darkness and cold threatened to swallow hope, they huddled together in earthen huts, sharing food, stories, and warmth. No one could endure the frozen expanse alone. To venture out solo invited certain death. Their loneliness was not an existential puzzle, but a primal alarm, remedied instantly by returning to the group. The shared glow of oil lamps against frost-bitten windows became a testament to interdependence. Contrast that with silent apartments in our cities, balconies bristling with antennas, yet devoid of greetings. We barter words in common threads, voices vanishing in digital voids. Our loneliness is not momentary but chronic, a slow erosion of the social bedrock our ancestors once took for granted. The hum of an air conditioner replaces the murmur of neighbors, an incongruous lullaby for the modern soul. Anthropology reminds us that humans evolved as cooperative foragers, our survival contingent on group cohesion. Hunter-gatherer bands shared meat around the fire, practiced cooperative childcare, and migrated in rhythm. Mirror neurons fired in empathy. Oxytocin wove bonds with every shared glance. When we sever these connections, we trigger a neurochemical famine, leaving our emotional landscapes barren. The absence of a helping hand in times of need echoes in our biology as clearly as a missing heartbeat. Philosophers have pondered solitude's enigma. Thoreau retreated to Walden Pond seeking solace, only to discover true solitude demands a community of the soul books. Birdsong, whispered winds. Heidegger declared being with others the fundamental mode of existence. Yet neither foresaw our digital solitude, connected to countless strangers yet estranged from genuine presence. The silence of a closed door weighs differently when unshared. I once visited a technology conference where attendees cradled laptops like sacred relics, eyes riveted to screens while an orchestra played live across the hall. The irony struck me sharply. In a gathering meant to showcase innovation, the most radical act was to lower our lids and simply listen. The scratch of bow on strings seemed to awaken a collective memory long dormant. To bridge this chasm, we can borrow from ancestral wisdom without returning to a bygone era. We might institute digital sabbaths days when screens fall silent and voices take precedence. We might revive public squares for genuine debate and song rather than curated spectacles. We might ritualize shared meals beyond Instagram stories, savoring the aroma of stew and the warmth of real conversation. The rhythm of a shared heartbeat can become our new metronome. I read of a Sardinian village where centenarians outnumber those under 50, their secret not genes alone, but unbroken community ties. At dawn, Neighbors share goat's milk and olives, exchanging news as naturally as birdsong. At dusk, they spill onto stone porches, voices weaving days' labors into shared narrative. There, loneliness is as foreign as winter in midsummer, an idea preserved only in stories of travelers who dared wander alone. Their laughter lingers in the hills long after twilight falls. Anthropology shows that intentional communities like modern cohousing echo tribal villages of old. Grandparents share wisdom with grandchildren. Young adults receive support. No one dines alone. Communal gardens, shared workshops, and weekly assemblies rekindle social rhythms that once guarded hearts against loneliness. The scent of herbs and raised beds becomes an olfactory link between generations. Yet rebuilding community demands more than architecture. It requires a renewal of social imagination. We must relearn the art of greeting, a handshake carrying our name, a question carrying care. We must listen not merely to reply, but to register another's heartbeat. We must cultivate vulnerability in a culture that prizes stoicism, offering our own stories as invitations for others to share theirs. The pause between words can hold more truth than 1,000 spoken sentences. In my own life, I started small. I greet my barista by name and inquire about his day. I invite a colleague I barely know for tea. I host quarterly story nights where friends and strangers bring memories to the circle. These acts, unremarkable alone, stitch a fabric of belonging over time. A shared laugh over spilled sugar can become a cornerstone of empathy. Science confirms such practices yield measurable benefits: increased longevity, enhanced mental health, reduced inflammation. In one study, elderly adults in weekly storytelling groups experienced a 30% reduction in loneliness and significant mood improvements. Their hearts, both metaphorical and literal, beat stronger when woven into a communal tapestry. The rise in endorphins from genuine laughter can outdo any prescription. We can also transform digital platforms into communal hearths. Imagine apps prompting users to record brief gratitude stories, automatically shared within neighborhoods. Imagine virtual co-reading rooms where strangers discuss the same book in real time, voices transcending geography. These hybrid rituals could blend convenience with profundity. Even a brief audio clip of someone's morning ritual can bridge miles in an instant. Yet technology alone cannot solve modern solitude. It is but a tool, a mirror reflecting our longings. The true remedy lies in stepping beyond the screen, risking awkwardness for genuine connection, embracing unmediated human warmth. These leaps of faith echo migrations of ancient peoples who built villages in unknown lands. The first step toward another's door often feels the hardest, yet it carries the greatest promise. As I wander this modern landscape, I carry echoes of ancestral laughter and memories of hands clasped around a shared cup. I hold the knowledge that our loneliness need not define us, that belonging rituals can be reinvented and reclaimed. The fragrance of roasting coffee and the murmur of soft conversation accompany me as silent companions. And so I gather my modern rituals, weekly suppers whose laughter lasts longer than any ringtone, story circles beneath string lights passing memories like torches, whispered prayers linking breath to the slow-turning world. These embers remind me that loneliness is not a verdict but a signal, a call to reconnection. The gentle clink of a spoon against a mug can resonate with ancient echoes. Perhaps my ancestors never felt this precise ache, this digital echo of isolation. Their loneliness may have been as foreign to them as our smartphones would be. Yet they left us their stories and rituals, living testaments to the power of shared life. Their voices, carried by wind and memory, still speak to us across the ages. It falls to us to kindle those embers anew, to gather around modern hearths of empathy and presence. In doing so, we bridge the gap between ancient belonging and contemporary solitude, forging a path back to communal warmth. The spark of one candle can light 1,000 others. Share in the comments an ancestral practice, communal ritual, or modern innovation that has bridged your own loneliness. Let us weave these threads into a living tapestry of connection, one story at a time. Each response becomes a stitch in our shared mosaic. Though our solitude may feel unending, it is but a canvas awaiting the brushstrokes of shared humanity, each greeting, each story, each meal. The vast expanse of our isolation can transform into a constellation of presence. In every small gesture lies the promise of belonging, the echo of ancestors who never knew digital walls. We walk their paths in new terrain, carrying forward the wisdom they etched into human hearts. Together, our steps form a pilgrimage across time. I am Philo Chronos. Until we speak again,